Hello and welcome to the Sherlock-A-Thon vlog, and at the end there will be a wrap-up. So you already know my TBR if you watched the TBR video. I'm just gonna tell you what I'm reading it for, and the first book I'm reading is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I picked this because my first pick was Vicious by V.E. Schwab, but as I already said, I finished it before Sherlock-A-Thon started. But I enjoyed Gone Girl, and I'm told that this is like Gone Girl, so I assume it has morally great characters. And that's why I'm reading it for the prompt, high-functioning sociopath. I actually made a spread, like a journal spread thing. So because I've been seeing some really creative things some people on Twitter have been doing, I made a messy little spread for Sherlock-A-Thon. There's the date, there's a little clue drawing there, and then I listed all the prompts in order. And yeah, I didn't use a ruler for the calendar or whatever, but these are all the days Sherlock-A-Thon goes for, from 8th to 27th, and what day I'm on, so that I can see and keep track of how many books I'm going to read each week. And you may be wondering, okay, there's the prompts, there's the information, there's the dates, but where are the books I'm going to be reading? Oh, it's a mystery. Bam! Mystery solved. I hid the books under this flap for no reason whatsoever. I just thought it was a little stylish. You'll see a pattern of green here, some plaid. I just like that. But yeah, so I list the book in the order I'm reading it, the amount of pages, and the prompt that it goes with. So the first book I'm reading, The Girl on the Train, is 323 pages. That determines how long it's going to take me to finish, and it goes for prompt number 3, which is high functioning sociopath. So I'm going to be doing it like that. Make sure you check out the vlogs by my hosts. They might come on the same day, they might not, but I will link the channels of the hosts, Olivia's Catastrophe and Dom P is here. They're both wonderful people with great channels you should be watching already, and I'll link their Twitters and the Sherlock-A-Thon Twitter, because although when this goes up, Sherlock-A-Thon will be over, you can't join it, whatever, we might do it next year, I don't know. It depends on what we feel like, so yeah, thanks for coming to watch.
Hi, Sue. Hi. Hey.
Hey, it's cold, but besides that, I didn't get that much reading done on the first day of Sherlock-A-Thon. I was trying to finish this library book, Star Sight by Brandon Sanderson, which I love, by the way, so then I didn't get much reading done on The Girl on the Train. But now that I've started it and I'm a ways in, I'm gonna make a little call, you know, a little prediction. It's kind of leading to be that the one who did it was the main character and she just can't remember, but I think that it's actually the wife of her ex-husband, the new wife, Anna. I think it's her. So yeah, and I'm sure there are gonna be other suspects and red herrings along the way. This book had a bit of a rough start it had a short little prologue that was just confusing and pointless, and then when the characters started talking, I was thinking, is this how teenagers talk? But then I realized that the author is from Australia, and this book is based in Sydney, Australia, so when they say things like bloke, and like bloody hell and all that kind of stuff, it makes sense for them. So I have no problem with that anymore. It's actually really entertaining to read, and someone dies by the end of chapter 2, so things are really starting to pick up. Hey, what's up? It's a couple days later, and the results of that shopping time was outfit number 2, and also these 2 books by authors I already like, Caroline B. Cooney and Robert Sutherland. I have their books already, and I got these for real cheap, like $1 for both of them, so that was cool. And shortly after I got back, the spring cleaning bug hit me pretty bad. If there's like a spirit of Christmas, there's gotta be a spirit of spring cleaning, because yeah, that got me pretty bad. I organized my whole room, and I did some some new bookshelving. Like I moved, here I'll show you. This little yellow bookshelf used to be on the other side of the room, but now it's next to the big one, and I put my classics right here and my nonfiction books down here. And then of course I put some stuffed animals on top of it, and for this shelf I added a few things. It's not that much different. I also added a little reading corner. I mean, I've always had that reading corner, but that little bookshelf was in that reading corner, so it was pretty tight. Now that it's gone, I could actually properly fit in there and read some books. I'll show you that in a minute, but for now I want to talk about Every Breath. On the trip that I went to for shopping, I read this on the way there and on the way back, and I finished it the day after, and I can't say anything about it for now, but the mystery was great. It serves as a great romance as well, and I really enjoyed it. Again, I can only talk briefly because at the end of this video I'll be actually talking about the books. The next book I'm reading is TJ and the Time Stumblers, New Kid Catastrophes. This is a childhood favorite. I'm rereading it because I haven't read it in several years, and I want to see if it still holds up. This is a very weird book. That's kind of why I love it and why I have the series. I'll read the blurb. TJ Finkelstein is your average 7th grader trying to survive junior high. Average except for just moving from the Midwest to crazy money is no object Malibu, California, becoming mortal enemies with the school's most popular girl who stars on the Dizzy Channel, not the Disney Channel. Oh yeah, and being followed around by 2 goofball boys from the 23rd century. Hey, I'm here in that reading corner I mentioned. These are all the books I haven't read yet. Oh, that's my orange juice. These are the books I own that I haven't read yet, and here are the 2 remaining books I have to read for Sherlock-A-Thon. The book I'm reading right now is TJ and the Time Stumblers, and I mean, I say I'm reading it, but I actually finished it already. It's like 100 pages long, so I finished it in pretty much 1.5 days. And yes, it is as good as I remember, but I get why some people who've reviewed it on Goodreads would just call it juvenile and annoying. I see that side of it. I just don't find it annoying myself. The main antagonist, her name is Hesper Break-A-Heart. Get it? Break-A-Heart. And the love interest of the main character, you know, middle school love interest, his name is literally Chad Steele. I forgot how delightful and unsubtle the names are in this book, and I kind of already mentioned how it's like this book just feels like a parody of itself, and like there are so many weird fonts in here and stuff, and I don't know, it's just a fun time, and I'm glad I own the books. So I'm gonna move on to the next book in my TBR. I've started reading Rogue Lawyer by John Grisham. I've started reading that. It's pretty edgy and dark, total opposite from the last book I read. Hello, update again. It is now the final week of Sherlock-A-Thon, and I already said I started Rogue Lawyer for the Inspector Lestrade prompt, which was read a book about law enforcement, and this is about lawyers, or a lawyer. So I started it, and I kind of don't like it. I find myself getting slower and slower at reading, because, I mean, after finishing, say, like, finishing the 100-page book, TJ and the Time Stumblers, in 1.5 days, which would mean like 50 pages a day, something like that, or at least. For this, I'm reading like 10 pages a day, which is not going well, and I think that if I keep going like this, I won't be able to finish any of the 2 remaining books. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of a cheat. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm going to skip this for now. I'm going to leave it because this is 300 pages. Typically, if I liked it, I would read it in 3 days, 2 days. This, I'm not feeling it. I'm not grooving with it, really. It's just kind of unnecessarily edgy, and it's a book I feel like I've read before 1,000 times. I started reading Death by the Book by Juliana Deering for the elementary prompt, which is read a good old murder mystery, and this is a good old murder mystery. It's the one that's set in the 30s, and it follows this guy who is just a regular dude in the 30s, really. Quite a charmer, though, and he has a girlfriend, and I really love their playful romance. It's very charming, very classic, very fun, and I'm enjoying it so far. It feels so refreshing after reading the mostly boring rogue lawyer book. So we'll see how it goes. I feel like I'm going at a bit of a slower pace now. I've been slowing down a bit, but we're at the final stretch, so I hope, even if I don't finish all the books on my TBR, I can finish most of them. Welcome to the wrap-up, the overview of all the books I read for Sherlock-A-Thon. First was The Girl on the Train. I think that was a very enjoyable thriller. I liked it more than Gone Girl, but it's still only a 3 out of 5 stars. After that, I read Every Breath. I think that's my favorite book I read for Sherlock-A-Thon. A great young adult mystery and some great romance sprinkled in there. 4 out of 5 stars. TJ and the Time Stumblers. I think it has worn off on me with time, but I still love it. So it gets 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Rogue Lawyer. I really wasn't feeling it. It was trying to be too edgy while at the same time being very generic, so I can't give it a rating since I haven't finished it yet. I moved on to Death by the Book, which I enjoyed much, much more. I gave that a 4 out of 5 stars. It is a very charming murder mystery story. And lastly, which is weird, I read Gosick, the manga volume, and I enjoyed this more than volume 1, but it's still just a pretty even 3 out of 5 stars. It's not the best I've read, and I don't think I'll read more after this. Thank you so much for watching and for participating if you did. I had so much fun doing this readathon, my own readathon. So yeah, that's the vlog. See you next week.